I wish, I wish, I wish. What is the relationship between wishing and hope? Good morning. My name is Father Frank Buckley, and I am the host of our morning meditation practice, Flourishing During Challenging Times. Happy Monday. Today is going to be a great day. Mondays, we particularly focus on people new to meditation. If this is your first time meditating, welcome. Strap on your seatbelt. You are about to go on a wild ride of transformation. This program is three parts. One of the things that helps make meditation a little more doable is a little inspiration to get the day going. So we always begin with a little inspiration. Then the second part of the program is the heart of the matter. We practice 20-minute silent meditation. Father Thomas Keating, the founder of Centering Prayer, has described the method more simply and better than anyone I have come across. Father Keating says the method is this: sit down. We simply take a seat on our chair or our cushion and we give the next 20 minutes to the eternal being, to God. And then the method is you engage a sacred word, whatever you would like. If people who've been meditating around, they can help you with this, but it helps to pick something, one or two syllables. It could be God, Jesus, love, kindness, peace, anything at all that has something meaning and soothing to you. You repeat the sacred word 4 or 5 times, and then you simply drop down to deep rest and enjoy the moment. Now, if you're human at all and you have a pulse, thoughts will arise. It's simply the way we are wired. When the thoughts arise, gently return the attention to the breath, engage the sacred word, repeat it 3 or 4 times, and then drop down to deep rest. I will ring the bell to get us going. At the end of 20 minutes, I will ring the bell again to terminate the session. And then the very last part of the program, the third part of the program, it's very helpful after meditating not to just jump up and dive into your day. We take just a few minutes to do a Jesuit Ignatian examine. On Mondays, we just look over the weekend and we notice with gratitude in the heart where God, where love came alive for us in our everyday, ordinary lives and relationship. So, without further ado, let's move into the inspiration. And for people who are new, I began with a question: the relationship between wishing and hope. William Lynch, probably the world's greatest writer on hope, a Jesuit who died a few years ago, defined hope as the arduous task of searching for future good that's realistically possible but not yet visible. And if you can't remember that mouthful, he says it's simply refusing to believe that all the doors are nailed shut. And he particularly has an affinity for the relationship between hope and wishing. And that is how I would like to begin our morning session, with a little reflection by him. Let's get started. A constant supposition is that there is a strong relationship between hoping and wishing. The substance of my exploration will move toward the centrality of wishing in human life. When I begin to discover what my wishes are, I am well on my way towards hope. When I cannot wish, I am moving toward despair. Let me read that again. When I cannot wish, I am moving towards despair. Whenever I use the words wish and wishing, I wish to indicate something deeply positive. The sense is that of the book of Daniel, in which the angel says to the prophet, God has loved you because you are a man of great desires. We must take the human person as essentially a wishing, desiring being who, in this exalted sense, must at all costs be in contact with their own wishes. Where there is no wishing, there can be no hope. One of the most brooding forms of illness and hopelessness among us seems to be that of apathy, which we may define for the moment as the death of wishing. What do I wish? Nothing. Here again, we will find progressively that real wishing, as hope itself, is deeply bound up with the imagination and relationship. To become a person of deep desires. And the prophet Daniel is certainly a model. So we come to our cushion, to our chair this morning for our meditation practice as people with great desires. We take these desires to God. We simply sit down and allow God to do the rest. As St. Ignatius will say again and again, God simply cannot be outdone in generosity. So this is a group called Flourishing during times of uncertainty, and this pandemic is certainly a time of uncertainty. So one of the ways we flourish, if you're new to the group, is unplug. So turn off all technology. This group is actually a technology detox. I have my phone on silent. I will set the timer for 20 minutes so you don't have to worry about timing at all. I've got you covered. And then what I invite you to do is to take your shoes off, place your feet, the soles of your feet, onto the ground. You can lower your eyes or close your eyes, whatever feels safe and comfortable to you. And we will begin and end with the sound of the bell. Let's begin. Listen, listen. The sound of this beautiful bell returns us to our true self. As always, we begin the week with diaphragmatic breathing, that is, breathing deeply as possible into the lower belly 3 times, in through the nose, and then out through the mouth. Together as a community, inhale and exhale. 2 more times. Inhale and exhale. Last time, deeply as possible. Inhale and exhale. Bringing fresh oxygen to the brain and the body. Continue to breathe on your own. Take the attention to your body. We always start with the feet. Feel the soles of the feet pressed on to the green earth, our mother, and just take a moment to notice how solid she feels this morning. Moving a little further up the body, we arrive at the chair, providing support. We all need a little support in our lives. We just look over this last weekend and notice any areas of our life where we experienced a little support, and then just lean into that support. Lengthen the spine just a little bit. Healthy spine, healthy body. Relax the shoulders. Anything you've been holding on to this weekend that's caused you a little stress or anxiety, just let it roll off the shoulders and let the earth receive it and hold it. Let go, surrender, lighten up. Moving towards the front of the body, we arrive at the heart, the place the spiritual world touches the physical world. I invite you to take your hand to your heart. See if you can come up with something that brings you a little joy in your life. Name it in one word, and then place that word right smack in the middle of your heart. Together as a community, let's breathe 1 time into the joy. Inhale and exhale. Release the hands, sit back, and just notice what you feel. Finally, we take the attention to the forehead, the seat of intuition, the area between the eyebrows. that place that always tells the truth, and focus on an intention for this morning's practice. Daniel was a person of great desires, of great wishes. For our intention this morning, let's not be afraid to ask God for something beautiful and great today. We'll seal the intention with an inhale and an exhale. Engage your sacred word. Repeat it 4 or 5 times. Drop down to the ocean floor. And together as a community, let's enjoy a little deep rest. Please continue. Mm. We only have about a minute left, so if you're new, one of the things we like to do for this last minute is practice the ancient 17th century Tibetan practice of very simply sprinkling a little joy over our life and the world. Please continue. Gently bring your attention back to the room. If your eyes were closed, open the eyes. Let's circle the wrist one way and the other. Raise the hands up. Lean a little to the left, a little to the right. Circle the arms one way and then the other. I think some of you did a yoga workshop with my friend Bobby Carley this weekend. Anything you've been holding on to, just shake it out. Sit back and we'll move to the third part of our morning practice, which is our Jesuit examine. But before we do this, if you're new to the rooms, if you're new to meditation, great job, you did it. It is so simple, we just sit down, but I know also it's not always easy. And a lot of times I do a lot of this. So when people are new, they will say to me, when it's all over, like, my gosh, my, monkey mind was just jumping from thought to thought. What a colossal waste of time. And when I hear this, I always go back to one of the most beautiful writers on meditation, Maharishi. He brought transcendental meditation over from India to the United States. And when people were challenged with meditation, he had a really beautiful expression that I hold very close to my own heart. And when my monkey mind kicks in, I go back to his invitation. He says, whether we dip our toe into a shallow pool or the deep ocean, we still get wet. So we still reap the benefits of meditation, body, mind, spirit. So on that positive note, let's move into the Jesuit examine, and I will model this of where I found God come alive this weekend. And one of the most important parts of this morning practice is we build a little community. None of us can do this alone. So I invite you to share with our community that's literally across the globe where you experience God come alive this weekend. Just put it in the little box there, and I will I will share with you. Most of you know. If you are new, if you aren't new, you know this. But if you are new, we do a food pantry every Saturday at Blessed Sacrament, and it's really one of the highlights of my week. And this week it's on Sunset Boulevard. We gave out over 300 meals. A really good friend of mine donated just bottles and bottles and bottles of ice water from Costco, water bottles, and then the generosity of the community at Blessed Sacrament is really quite remarkable. Some parishioners brought just boxes and boxes and boxes of enchiladas. So if you have an apartment, have just hit hard times, you get a whole bag of food to get you through the next week that can be cooked in canned goods. But if you're living on the streets, there's another line that you can get food that's ready available. And this week was the best week ever. You had a choice of a meat sandwich that was all packaged with a piece of fresh fruit, uh, a peanut butter and jelly bag of goodies, or the third is there were boxes and boxes of enchiladas and burritos. And one of the ways people thrive, I'm going to put my clinical psychology hat on for a moment, is when you have choices. Excuse me. And it's kind of unbelievable, but just a simple, excuse me, a simple choice of what kind of sandwich you want really makes our lives more pleasant. So that was one thing. The second thing that went well over the weekend for me um, was, let's see, now I lost my train of thought. We had the food pantry, and then, oh, I'm still working my way through that book by Fred Lufkin on forgiveness, and it's really, I'm really enjoying it. He has, I might bring it in for our inspiration. He has, one of the ways we practice forgiveness, most of you who know me know I love acronyms, is PERT, which is an acronym PERT, positive emotion refocusing technique. So when you get triggered, when you can't forgive, when you're in that inescapable place, he says we can change the channel and go to gratitude, find a positive emotion, and reimagine. So that was really great. And then last but not least, I think of the whole week, Monday is my favorite because so many people invite their friends who've never meditated to join. Um, Thich Nhat Hanh calls mindfulness meditation a miracle in our everyday, ordinary life. And in the middle of a pandemic and race riots and protests, it's so beautiful to have this practice of simply experiencing a miracle in our ordinary lives. And when we get to share it with others, it even becomes sweeter. So have a beautiful first day of your week, and I will see you tomorrow morning. God bless.